Happy Thursday, everybody. So, what will it be? Will it be knowledge or will it be repetition? You know what? I think you're going to find out that knowledge isn't all it's cracked up to be. You know, I think knowledge is great, but knowledge is powerless without repetition. So let me tell you this. I know people that are really knowledgeable and they're very unhealthy. I know people with a lot more degrees and a lot smarter than me, but they're very unhealthy. I know people that are very knowledgeable and they're very poor. Because I'm going to tell you something, whether you believe this or not, do you know why we're in this mess? It's from repetition. Oh yeah. So from 0 to 7, 95% of all your beliefs, okay, are taught to you. Up to 95%, so at least 70 to 95%. But I will tell you this much, 95% of your day is performed throughout the day because of the beliefs that you got from up only to the age of 7. You know, what would the Jesuits say? The Jesuits used to say, give me a boy until he's 7 and I'll give you a man. What they were saying is, give me a boy until he is 7 and I will have him programmed to believe and do everything that I want him to. Now, whether you want to believe this, whether it's wealth, health, relationships with yourself or someone else, they're all dependent on you going in and becoming conscious enough to understand your subconscious, because subconscious means underneath conscious. And understand something, 95% of the day you are in your subconscious mind. So if your life sucks, your beliefs suck. And if you don't understand that your beliefs are not your personality, then you are going to have a life of total misery. I mean, take a look at your friends, your family. Tell me they're happy. Tell me that they're able to go 3, 2, 1, I got this, and jump right back into joy. You can believe this or not believe this, but if there's a crisis in my life, no matter how big it is, I allow myself 30 seconds before I connect back into my lion heart breathing. And I go back into the beliefs that I taught myself over the last 20 years. God loved my mother and my father, but my father, he was very, very religious, and he would say one thing and then do another thing, and he was so contradictory, and he never knew how to love himself or to love us as children. And God loved him, but that's the way it was. Then my mother, she was raped by her father, and then she became an alcoholic by the time she was around 25, 26. Until she ended up getting lung and tongue cancer. My father got leukemia, and both my parents were gone by the time they were 55, and I'm going to be 64 years old. Right now I'm on my day 4 of fasting, and tomorrow I'm going to get up and I'm going to talk about my fasting, and I'm going to talk about why aren't you fasting? What are you doing at home right now? Why aren't you learning to get rid of bad habits? Because your bad habits make and shape you, your good habits make and shape you. So how many bad habits do you have and how many good habits do you have? And only repetition is going to get you out of this mess. You may not believe this, but this is what it is, what's going on right now. And I don't even care, because if I can't change something, I need to care for myself. Okay, it's called self-love and self-care. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it for myself, and I'm going to do it for my family. So what are you doing? Do you understand that the art of repetition is everything? Do you understand that the reason why we're in this mess is because 99.9% of the population doesn't understand that repetition either makes you into a master, mastering your mind, mastering your body, or we're in this mess right now because guess what? This coronavirus is not as bad as everybody thinks, and it isn't. And if everybody truly cared for everyone, are you going to tell me that the government really cares for us? Are you kidding me? Are you going to tell me that the medical system is based on self-love, self-care? Are you going to tell me that? If you are, then guess what? Then that's why I don't understand what's going on, because you don't understand what's going on. And the only reason why we don't understand what's going on, because we don't understand what's going on in our own minds. Unless you want to start repeating okay, what you want to be. Write down on a piece of paper here this morning. What do you want to see in your life? You do know that if you were raised with poverty thinking, you're poor right now. You do know that if you were raised with rich thinking, you're rich. Even if you're as dumb as a stump, you're still going to be rich because you have a program to be rich. You do know the chances are if you were raised in a family that were musicians, you're going to be a musician. You do know that if you're raised in a family of obesity, the good chances of being obesity are going to be high unless you've got worms. So the reality is that your whole life has been programmed from 0 to 7. And today, why you're going to have a beautiful day or a miserable day, it's going to be what? It's going to be all because of from 0 to 7. And guess what? Do you want to know something? The elite and those people that have been totally successful in their life knew that repetition was the key and they didn't share it. I mean, what the heck did you even learn from school? You probably went to school for no less than 12 years and you didn't know how to what? You didn't know how to do your finances. You didn't know how to cook any food properly or healthy food. And then you didn't even know how to love yourself or anyone else. So the reality is, unless you want to master your mind, that's all it's about. You know what? You can have all the knowledge you want. And I will just learn how to master my mind, to totally take care of myself, to totally love myself and honor myself. And no matter what the crisis is, I'm going to be back in the present moment, boom, in 30 seconds. Because you know why you suffer so much? Because mommy and daddy suffered. And you know why? Because everybody in the family, when somebody got sick, we all saw who was going to suffer the most because that's how we show our love. And you think you know what love is, eh? I'll tell you, I haven't met a family that doesn't have some type of corrupted love. Because until you learn how to totally love and appreciate and care for yourself, how can you care for anyone else? Take a look at the way you treat yourself. Do you abuse yourself? Do you talk down to yourself? Do you know when you do something and you eat something, it's totally toxic, it's a GMO poison with sugar in it? Why do you take it? Well, that's self-abuse. Why do you keep doing it? You know, right now you've got all the time in the world because the world's ending. Oh, at least we think it is. No, it's not. The world will never be the same again, but maybe that's a good thing. And maybe if you were never going to be the same again, maybe that would be a good thing. Maybe if you actually started working on yourself and looking how you thought, looking how you talk, looking how you eat and drink and think, and what do you do in your spare time? And also, you know, want to know something? Are you in a relationship that is so toxic? Then what are you doing in there? Try to make it work, but if it doesn't work, get the heck out of there. So whether it's a personal relationship with yourself or someone else, you know, this is a good time to make changes, isn't it? It's a good time to clean out the closet. It's a good time to clean out your mind. The reality is this world is never going to change until you change. My world is good enough already. If nothing else changes in this world, because I'm going to tell you something, I am not going to have expectations about everybody else because everybody else is in charge of everybody else, but I'm going to have high expectations for myself. And I'm definitely not going to take things personal because they're not going my way in the world, but they can go my way in my mind because I am the master of my mind. Don't forget, the truth about vaccines is on right now. Go to my Facebook page, click on that and get it for free. Join me for Monday for my live Q&A. I've already got 43 questions. I'll do my best with those things. And understand something. You may not like everything I say, but guess what? That's okay. If you liked everything I had to say, then that means you knew it all already. When you don't like something I have to say usually, it's because you've got a belief that says, that's not true. That's not true. I'm not going to take that in. That's not true. Who does he think he is? I'll tell you who I think I am. I think I'm a guy who wants to master my mind and my life and not have the elite out there and the medical system and every other bloody system scare the living crap out of me today because I'm going to have the best day of my life. And guess what? I'm on day 4 of my fast. So that means I'm just on water right now. So far this morning, I've been up since 6 o'clock. I did my stretching and I had 1 quart of structured water with a tablespoon of Himalayan salt. Now the rest of the day I'll have a little bit of ATP plus, which are life crystals. I'll have some fulvic in my drinking water, and I'll have some Ormus minerals, and I'm going to stay so connected to loving this guy and stay so connected to my lion heart breathing. And throughout the day, when I'm on the phone with someone, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do my squatting exercises. I'm gonna do a little bit of rebounding. You're not even gonna know when you're talking to me that I'm actually exercising, because I'm not gonna be breathing that hard, because I'm not gonna be out of breath, because remember, it's not knowledge, it's repetition, because I always repeat positive things for myself. So, seriously, you know what? When you are on your last day on this planet, are you going to look back and say, I did it, I got it, I won the game? If today was my last day, guys, I'm okay with that, because we don't die, we just move on. But I'm not ready to move on yet. I'm having too much fun. Okay? So, have a beautiful day.